We got a brand new list of comics on the drop, so stay tuned to find out which ones they are.
What flopped?
Welcome back, Gators, to another incredible, exciting, fantastic episode of ComicGains. If you're new to the show, I'm Adam.
I'm Zach, and this Princess of Royal Highness looking very lovely today, just like usual, doing that princess way, so you do too. Bow and respect. And here's Coco.
There she is. All right, guys, so we got this nice Monday for you. What do we do on Mondays around here?
We do the drop list.
The drop list, yeah. So we got a nice list of 5 books that have that were hot a year ago and are now much more affordable, much more in your price range to maybe want to pick up. So yeah, we got some good stuff. Actually, a lot of these books are connected. So multiple of these books kind of go hand in hand together. That's probably why they both dropped at the same time. But it's interesting nonetheless. You know what else is interesting?
This drink, guys.
Yeah.
We got here a very healthy, very delicious Vita Coco. It's pressed coconut water original. Oh, Vita Coco. Oh, this doesn't have cocoa in it. But anyways, it has a palm tree, got the coconut thing. It's supposed to be good for you. And who knows what else. I think I'm supposed to shake it up.
You didn't shake it?
I didn't shake it. Shake it up. Okay. Not bad. I should have chilled it a little bit more. I highly recommend.
Is it warm?
Yeah, it's warm.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty good, and it's
You gotta have it cold.
supposedly good for you. All right, guys. Yeah, I would say get this drink. It's not bad.
You know what else is good for you? Coming and hanging out with us on Whatnot. And if it's your first time ever going to Whatnot, you can use our code down below and save $15 off your first purchase.
Guys, it's free. It doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah. We have all dollar starts, both shows, Princess and ComicGains, and auctions are as short as 30 seconds. And it's a great time.
In my opinion, the best Whatnot show on Whatnot. Or will be.
It's actually the most humble person on Whatnot.
Most humble, most...
All right, let's get to the drop list, because that's what y'all came here for today. And a long time ago in a galaxy far away, 1 year ago, we had Star Wars Darth Vader issue number 1. We've had plenty of these books. For some reason, we don't have any at the moment.
We sold them all at the high. Smart.
We did about a year ago. This is Darth Vader issue number 1, volume 1 from 2015. Great series, man. Addie Granoff cover, Karen Gillian written.
Whoa.
I mean, that's a great crew for a Star Wars book back in 2015. But, as you may know, this book is was very hot. Still a pretty hot book, though. First appearance of Black Chrysanthemum. This is the Wookiee bounty hunter that basically came out in, obviously in this book, but we got to see it on Book of Boba Fett on TV, and it came into our TVs, and
really cool.
It came into our hearts, and we all fell in love with Black Chrysanthemum, and it was a big deal. Like, all, major character. All his books, his first cover, his origin, everything went to the moon. They could all be on this list. All of those books could be on this list right now. And, for those of you guys that didn't know, the big deal about Black Chrysanthemum showing up on this Disney Plus TV show, Book of Boba Fett, is he's one of the first characters to show up on the big screen that's from a comic book in the Star Wars universe. So that's what was a big deal. There's many cool characters in Star Wars lore that are connected to the comic books that we haven't seen yet, and that basically opened the door. So everybody's anything's possible. Black Chrysanthemum could show up. Anything is possible. Any other character, and that may lead us to our next book after this. But some books to look out for. There's a bunch of ratios for this book. They are all good. They all have good value. There's multiple printings of this book that are all good as well. There's exclusives to this book. They're all good. They're all good stuff to look out for. So be on the lookout for any versions of Darth Vader number 1. None of them are super expensive over the other ones, but they all have good value.
Absolutely.
But they used to have much higher value, and Zach will give you the update on that.
Guys, prices a year ago for a CGC 9.8 was $299. Pretty good for a modern book. Now, $100. Great deal. It was as low as $46 and as high as $465.
Cool.
The average sale was $184. I would highly recommend you buying it. It's a great cover, great first appearance, and it goes along with a couple other books that match up very well. I would say this is a buy for $100. Average sale is $184, just double of the last sale. So I would say it's highly likely it's going to go back up within a reasonable amount of time. So,
yeah. And if you guys watched the Book of Boba Fett, no spoilers, but Black Krrsantan did not die. So very good chance we're going to see him again. He's obviously alive in the same time period as Mandalorian, and we're getting next Mandalorian season. So pretty cool character. You know, he doesn't do much talking, so it'd be hard for him to like lead his own TV show, but we can see some nice muscle in the background, right?
Yeah, he's a silent and very brooding character and very muscular.
Yeah, and you know, if you got character. Darth Vader 1, you need Darth Vader number 3, and that's the next book on our list, is Star Wars Darth Vader 3 Volume 1 from also 2015. This is also an Addie Granoff cover and written by Karen Gillian.
Lovely cover.
Great book. This is obviously, you know, a well-known, very expensive Star Wars book, but this is first appearance of Dr. Aphra, who is amazing, and also our 2 favorite droids, 000 and BT-1, the assassin droid. Just some cool stuff. I mean, this obviously, this book has been hot for a long time. It kind of goes up and goes down depending on who's talking about it, what Star Wars show was out. It got extra hot because we got to see Black Krrsantan, and he's a friend of Dr. Aphra in the comic books. We were like, okay, we're definitely going to see her sometime soon. And Disney doubled down, and they said they're looking for a female version of Indiana Jones. And that means they're looking for Dr. Aphra. So we haven't seen her yet. They haven't announced any shows that are leading up to. We thought maybe we'd see her in this one, but I think if it's with the success of like Andor coming out and like if they stick with this time frame, if they stick with Andor first and they keep going further into the future from that book, we could eventually run into her as well too. So, you know, depending on, hopefully something cool happens with that. But books to look out for, there's a whole bunch of printings of this book that are good as well. The one you want to look out for is the 4th printing, which is the purple background. It's almost about double value of cover A. That one's really cool. And the 1 in 25 Salvador LaRocca, who also did that Eminem cover that just came out, that's the money book. Zach will tell you he actually likes cover A better.
Love cover A.
Than the 1 in 25. But if you're looking to invest in this book, because this book has investment potential, that 1 in 25 is the one you want to go with.
Might have some legs.
Yeah, yes. That could be huge. And this book used to be really huge, but it might be more affordable. And Zach will tell you about it right about now. Right
about meow. Prices a year ago was $474. Last sold was $299. Not too crazy to drop, so it kind of tells you this book is very desirable still. It's staying at a steady decline, but it's not like going crazy. It didn't freaking drop like at a 45 or less degree angle. Price $242 was the low, and the high was $1,127.
What?
Average sale was $391. This book, I would say don't buy 9.8 unless you just want to throw money at it and hope for the best. I would say hold on that, but I would say buy raw copies, high grade raw copies, and attempt to send it in. You'll save a lot more money. And if the book drops even more, you're kind of still getting the book, but you're not spending the 9.8 price, most likely. Yeah. So you're kind of hedging your bets. That's how I would say about this book. It's a lovely book. I'm not going to be mad at you if you buy a 9.8. It's a great book. It has a high chance of going back up really quickly.
And it will, yeah. It's definitely a roller coaster book.
But you can get the same book, potentially the same grade, for half the price. Yeah. Probably.
Smart, yeah. Sometimes you can find it for $100 raw.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
And we won't be mad if you buy it for that price.
Mm-hmm. We won't be mad at all.
All right. Now, this list can't all be about Star Wars, as much as we all love to talk about Star Wars. It's interesting. But, you know, what happened last year is our good friend Doctor Strange passed away. And they made this really cool book called Death of Doctor Strange, Bloodstone #1.
Thank you,
which
Princess.
Came out in 2022, which is probably in the top 10 best books of 2022 that came out.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Cover.
And you got David Nakayama rocking the cover on there. He's really hot right now. And this book was written by Teenie Howard. So
Teenie?
Fantastic book. This obviously is popular because it was first appearance of Lyra Bloodstone, who's the sister of Elsa Bloodstone, who graces the cover of this book, who I tell you, Princess loves Elsa Bloodstone a lot. And this book was leading up to getting popular. You got Werewolf by Night came out, which made everybody know Elsa a lot more. The entire family got hot. You got Ulysses Bloodstone was super popular. Cullen Bloodstone got really popular.
Cool.
Everybody Bloodstone got popular, but just a really cool book. And Lyra, if you read this, it's a great story too. Lyra is kind of like trapped in this world that she wasn't able to be released until Doctor Strange died. And that's what kind of released her from it. And, you know, they did this one shot and we haven't really heard much more from her. I think there's a lot more to come. Mm-hmm. That might be why the book dropped a little bit, because we haven't heard much more of Lyra. And I would say, you know, of all the books out there, the one to look out for would be that 1 in 10 variant by I.G. Garag. And it's a design variant, and it's pretty cool. There's not really any other ratios out rocking for this book, so that's the one to look for. And it's quite a bit more affordable right now to pick up. This was you know, $20-$25 book raw for a little while.
Yes.
Zach, what's the prices now?
And it's also a first cover appearance of the character that debuts in that book.
On the 1 in 10, yes, you are correct. Yeah,
the 1 in 10.
That actually makes more valuable.
Yeah.
Good point.
One thing you also didn't know is that Bloodstone is a Highlander version in the Marvel Universe, guys. There can only be one, right? That has a Bloodstone. Think about it. Crazy. I'm making a horrible
Hopefully
joke.
They don't kill each other.
Yeah. We'll find out on next issue. We got prices a year ago was $150 for CGC 9.8. Last sold was $70. So cut it in half. Low sell was $22. High sell $150. Average $57. I would buy this book raw. Same thing, buy it raw. If you're paying $70, you could just buy the like 10 copies for $5 a piece, and then just, you know, scattershot it into CGC after a quick press done by yourself, and potentially get a couple of 9.8, sell the rest. You might even spend technically zero money for the book. Zero money if you get lucky.
I like zero.
Yeah, I like zero.
There was a lot of people selling these on eBay in like large quantities. Like you could buy like 10 copies at one time at like $5 a piece. You know, people just trying to dump them real quick. But yeah, this is definitely a long spec, but there's definitely potential. Definitely potential.
Buy raw, guys. You can get a way better deal if you do that for this particular book.
I thought the book looked cool too because it almost looks like a variant cover, but it's a cover A, which is cool. It's a good cover A. It's a good cover A.
Nakayama.
Speaking of good cover A's, we have our good friend the Punisher from this is Punisher 218.
Give me
volume. This is actually volume 2 from 2018. It's kind of cool. 2018. But this is a Clayton Crane and Matthew Rosenberg doing the work on this nice Clayton Crane cover. I know you get to see Coco, you get to see some Punisher. But this book is popular because it is the first cameo appearance of Punisher in the War Machine armor. Look how awesome that looks. It's crazy cool.
It's a great, fantastic cover. It's very iconic. It has a War Machine kind of feel to it.
Well, it is in the War Machine armor.
Oh.
Punisher in the War Machine armor.
I thought it was a different armor because I had the skull on his chest.
Yeah, it's a special Punisher War Machine armor.
He took what he wanted.
Yeah.
The Necromonger way.
Cool thing to know about this book, you got 219 is also a nice book, which is the first full appearance, but every book after that is all nice books to own because they're all low print runs. So anything after that 218, if you see it, snatch those books up if it's a good price because they're all like really, really low print run for some reason. And just side note, if you guys are ever curious about the numbering on this, it is one of those legacy number books. So it's kind of like it goes off that original series that, you know, came out in the 70s or for Punisher. And when they came back to it later, they continued on with the numbers. I thought that was interesting. You know, Moon Knight did that, Black Panther did a number of other books jump back into the old number sequence and just kept running with it. So pretty cool. But this book got popular. We did have at Boston Comic-Con, John Barenthal kind of let slip that he was returning to the MCU, and there's chances that he might be returning during Armor Wars, is why everyone's suspecting that he could be wearing the Punisher armor
that could be
during that series. So that would be really, really cool. There's a bunch of rumors that have already kind of confirmed that he's coming back in some fashion as Punisher. A bunch of people have said things on accident. So some books to look out for. There is a super cool second print variant of this book that is limited to 1,129.
Only 1,000.
Yeah, which is really, really cool. And it kind of homages the the first appearance of War Machine with like the labeling over the top. It's like a blue cover. There's a lenticular one too that's out there that I think is cool that nobody's looking at, which is super cheap to get. So if you see that lenticular, snatch that up.
Don't look at it on drugs, guys. You'll trip the heck out.
That one's really, really cool. And there's also a John Barenthal cover, a photo cover, which is worth a lot of money. And if you got that signed by John Barenthal at a con and CGC'd it, I feel like that would be like the creme de la creme of this book. Would be really exciting. So,
tip of the day.
Like I said, a year ago, this book was super, super hot. I still think it has massive potential. So it might be a good idea to pick this up if it's dropped. Has it dropped that?
It does drop significantly.
Ooh.
Prices a year ago for a CGC 9.8 was $399. Now, $160. Over half.
What?
Over half. The range, $95 to as high as $595. Average sales, $322. Buy. You're not going to find this book hardly at all in the wild.
So
I've only seen that book. I don't even know how he found it. eBay, who knows what you're going to get with eBay with this type of book, right? I would say it's not a bad idea at all to buy a 9.8, especially if you really like this book for $160. The average sale is double the low, or double of the last sale. It's screaming at you. This book's gonna go back up. Wait, I'm not gonna scream, guys. I don't scream. This book's gonna go back. You need, if you like Punisher, if you like War Machine, buy this book.
And you like them together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, together. Ooh. Okay.
Great,
okay.
Yeah, speaking of Armor Wars, we got our last book on the series as the first ever Armor Wars, and that is the good old Iron Man 225 from 1987. This is also from Volume 1, and this is a Mark Bright cover and written by David Michelini. Shout out Venom there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so this is kind of an interesting book, and it's sometimes an easy book to find, I think, but this is part 1 of the Armor Wars series. So there's not any major significance taking place in this book, like Tony dons a new armor. It leads off this very long series in Iron Man Run, which is really cool. But if you're not familiar with Armor Wars, basically a bunch of villains like the Force, Justin Hammer, you got Spy Master, Stiltman, the Controller. They basically all steal variations of technology from Tony Stark, and they basically go on this huge armor war battle against each other. And it's pretty cool. It's a really cool series, and we know we're getting an Armor War. I think they switched it to a movie now. It was going to be a TV show. Now it's going to be a movie. And they announced back in December of 2020 that Don Cheadle will reprise his role as War Machine in the movie, as Rhodey Rhodes. And I think it's kind of interesting, like, who's going to be the lead character? Like, is they going to have War Machine be, because traditionally, like, Iron Man would have been the lead character for in the comic books. So obviously we're not going to get Robert Downey Jr. back as Iron Man. There is speculation he's going to come back as an AI character.
Famous Iron Man #1.
Yeah, infamous Iron Man.
Infamous.
But there's speculation. I mean, he can make a ton of money just reading lines. So, like, why would he not do that? But do you think Riri's going to be the main character of the show, or do you think Rhodes is going to be the main character? Leave a comment down below. Let us know who you think might lead this movie. I don't know. I think either one could pull it off.
I have an opinion on it, but I'll leave it to later.
Leave it to the crowd?
Later.
So, cool book. Like I said, I don't know if this is ever going to be like a huge book, but it's a good time to maybe pick this one up and sell it as soon as we get our first previews. Because like I said, I feel it's kind of an easy book to find,
right,
for the most part. And Zach will give you better numbers on it. I think it got its height when they announced the show, but we haven't had a preview yet. So you know what happens when we get previews.
Yeah, everything goes way up. But back to the book. In a CGC 9.8 for this particular book, it was selling for $440.
What?
Pretty high for this type of book.
It's like a $20 book raw.
Right? But it hasn't dropped that much, probably because of the whole idea of it being made into a movie instead of a TV show.
Yeah.
So last sale was $299. Range, $198 to $440. Average sales, $278. I would hold on buying the 9.8 copy of this, because who knows where it's going to go, right, from this point. But again, buy raw copies and scatter shout out to CGC if you want a better deal on a 9.8 and maybe give you some extra stuff to sell. Maybe even potentially pay $0. After you put all the money in, get it back, sold, you have one nice 9.8 copy. The rest of them pays for everything you put in. That's the whole idea with that one.
Yeah.
This particular one.
It does seem to be a little bit harder book to find in high grade, maybe because it wasn't as coveted for the last 30 years that it was out. A lot of people left it in the dollar bins and their back bins, you know, like Iron Man. Who cares about that guy?
Who cares?
Yeah, now they're like, oh, we do care. Why didn't we take better care of this book?
There was like 5 books in Iron Man that you really wanted.
Now there's like 30. Now there's quite a bit more now. There's quite a bit more now, but for sure.
Pretty funny.
All right, Zach, what's the pick of the week?
So, overall, and the one that you should buy is one book. I think it should be The Punisher 218. I think that's for $160
Zach might be going to buy it right after the show.
Book like this, I think, oh man, great cover, great first appearance of armor donning kind of situation. I mean, it's telling you, buy it at the 160. I mean, if you can find it raw and set it in, that's even better. But I bet you it would be very hard to find a 9.8 raw copy of this book. Extremely hard. So I would probably say spend the 160 if you got it on this. If you like it, love it, gotta have it, and you got 160, do it.
Yeah, I like it. I love it. Gotta have it.
Gotta have it.
All right, guys, that's gonna wrap up the drop list for this week. And if you love hearing them as much as we like delivering them, all you gotta do is hit that subscribe button. Then you gotta hit the like button, then the notification bell, so you always know when we're going on live, which happens a lot Wednesday. Where we like to, get to hang out with you guys, almost like fireside chat. I like how they say that in the corporate world, the fireside chat. But you can also leave a comment down below. We want to hear your thoughts on Armor Wars and Dr. Aphra and Black Chrysanthemum. Maybe even Bloodstone. Who's your favorite Bloodstone? I think everyone's favorite's Elsa, but there's Cullen fans out there, I'm sure, right?
Yeah,
a couple of Cullen fans. I don't know if anybody likes Ulysses.
Yeah, he's dead to me.
But, Zach, you got anything else?
Yeah, sure. And how you do that is you have to go to a recycling plant, right? And you gotta bring a torch, you gotta bring some other stuff. And you spend hours like hammer, the whole thing. Yeah, don't see what you're doing, but you see the sparks going on there. And after, but apparently a week, you got this tin suit, right? And then you could go out, walk around in it. People look at you like, what the heck's going on with this crazy dude? And that's how you become Tin Man, the most underrated cybernetic armor suit man. And then you get into the Armor Wars and you get taken out with the first 5 seconds. Your suit's made of tin.
Nice.
And that's how you get those gains. At least
Tin Man gains.
That's how you get in the paper. I would write about like, this guy is ridiculous, walking around with a tin suit. Get the heck out of here.
His number one enemy is the can opener.
Oh. You hear that like can opener? It's like, run. I'm out.
I like it. All right, until we see you next time, guys, stay safe and remember.
Get those 10 gains. Every single one.